Welcome everyone to BoomerWorks. My name is Shira Lothar. Happy to be your host tonight, joined by my colleague Michael Butera, our trusted faithful volunteer. We are so excited to have you tonight to listen to our rock star social media expert, Lisa Nichols, who is going to demystify the Instagram Reels process. If any of you have ever thought about doing videos, if you have done videos, if you want to know how to do videos better, Lisa's the girl. And so she is going to take you through a real 101 process here and make sure that you guys know the step-by-steps on how to do really good Instagram Reels. So with that, Lisa, you can take it away.
Thanks so much. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I will try to make this exciting because I know, this everybody's getting tired. I have to say, this is the first time I'm doing this presentation, so I love your feedback on it. And I'm going to start by saying I talk fast, so if I'm going through something and you want me to kind of slow down a little bit, just raise your hand, jump in, let me know. Very interactive. First of all, I want to start with a poll. How many of you have done a Reels or video on Instagram? You can do the reaction like the plus or minus. Or let me know or put it in the chat. But I'd love to know how many of you have done Reels before. I got one yes, two yeses, three. Cool. No, Margaret. Okay. Okay, so we've got a mix. So I was telling Shira before we started, I was trying to make this, Margaret's a no. Okay, Marguerite is a no. I was telling Shira I was trying to make this so that it would be good for all of you. So if it's super basic for some of you guys, I am sorry about that. I'm trying to sprinkle in some tips and best practices so it's not too basic for everybody, but basic enough for the people who haven't done it before to be comfortable with it. And Oliver's saying I've done TikTok and YouTube shorts. Oh, cool. That does count. Yep. Okay, cool. Cool. Oliver, you could give us a class on TikTok for heaven's sake, because I don't do a lot of that. But anyway, Reels are actually similar to TikTok. So they started out by being Instagram's, let's see. Oh, crap. Okay, they started out by being Instagram's answer to TikTok. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm trying to Okay, so my share is being a little bit weird. Let me see. It's not. Here we go. Okay, cool. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Let me do the whole thing now. Present. Full screen. Present. Okay, there we go. So we're ready to dive in. I can't see everybody, but like I said, try and raise your hand, put something in the chat, and I know Cheryl will help me keep an eye on this. So we'll do it well. So I wanted to give you guys, just so you know who I am, a little bit of background on me, and then we're going to talk about Instagram and Reels too, in terms of why they're important. So I've been doing social media, digital media marketing for about 13 plus years in my company before Instagram started, which I think is super interesting. And so I watched it more from being more about travel bloggers and food into, something everybody uses and something business owners have really been jumping on. I work with all industries. I have clients across the spectrum. So there's no really specialty or niche. I do B2B, B2C, everything. I work with usually small businesses, small to medium businesses to help them boost their overall digital media presence, whether that's on social media, email marketing, doing something with their website, et cetera, et cetera. I've helped hundreds of businesses with social media, and I like speaking. So I've gotten out in front of people. I do Zooms and everything else. Love doing LinkedIn Lives. That's kind of a fun thing for me too. So I try to be out there in front of the camera. So for those of you guys who need a little bit of a refresher on Instagram, it's a free photo and video sharing application. Users upload photos or videos and they share them with their followers or with a select group of friends. You can actually pick which one of those you do. And users can view, comment, and like posts. And then anyone 13 and older can create an account by registering an email address and selecting a username. I'm trying to think if you could register more than one account and you have to have separate phone numbers. That's been back and forth, so I'm not sure, but most of us don't need. Some people have like a business account, some people have a personal account. I will say, I think it's too troublesome and time consuming to do like do one account keeps most of us busy. So trying to do two is next to impossible. So I always tell people to simplify when they can. Just some stats on Instagram. These are a little bit older. But Instagram is the 8th most visited website in the world. So before you dismiss it and say, oh, into doing it, it is a great website. It's actually behind Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp. It's more than 2 billion now, but 2 billion monthly users. 47% of American adults use Instagram. So if you're thinking it's not a platform I should be on because not everybody's on it, chances are your ideal audience is on there. It actually skews slightly more female than male, but not like in the big numbers you would think. And like I said, businesses are using them now. And Americans spend 30 minutes per day on Instagram. And it's the #1 social platform for people to connect with brands, which is really, really just, I think that that's telling it all. But if someone's trying to connect with a brand, that is the place. And I think because it works so well, because Instagram tends to be more personal. You're putting up pictures of yourself and, and kind of sharing with people. And I think they feel they have a better connection with you on Instagram than they do on some of the more impersonal ones, although LinkedIn has been changing a lot lately. Instagram is great for building awareness among your target audience and for your brand and for you as a business owner. So, getting out in front of the camera, letting people know who you are on Instagram, using stories and all of those things are great for that top of the funnel awareness. Like if you guys are looking at the sales funnel, which is a dirty word these days, or the relationship cycle, it's great for that building awareness phase where you make people who don't know you aware of you, and then you nurture that relationship to eventually move them into a customer. Okay, so let's talk about the types of Instagram posts. Most of you guys know this, but you can do a single photo post. You can do a carousel photo post, which are multiple images in one post. Those are actually quite effective. And the reason is that if somebody's scrolling their feed and you have, let's say, 4 or 5 carousel photos up, the first time they scroll, they'll get the second photo. The second time they scroll, they'll get the second photo. And it goes on from there. So your carousel photo actually increases views and reach because every time somebody scrolls, they're getting one of the photos. So I think they're super effective. If you haven't done a carousel photo or need to know more about them, let me know. But it's just when you upload several pictures all at once. And I love those. Like I do those with a lot of my clients. Video is between 3 seconds to 60 minutes of video, and videos 15 minutes or under are considered reels. Instagram kind of keeps changing that. It's a little bit weird. So I was trying to look up the exact numbers, and I think this is it for now. But most of the videos that you're going to put on in Instagram are going to be reels. Instagram Live is Instagram's live streaming feature, and you can add up to 3 people on an Instagram Live. If you haven't done that, super fun to do. It's very conversational. People can pop on, and I used to do a bunch of those during COVID and had a great time with them. Stories are the one that's up in your profile photo. You can click on it. You put up a photo or video. You can play around with it, do fun stuff with it, and then it disappears within 24 hours unless you save it to a highlight. And then reels are best practice up to 90 seconds of video. So I said earlier that videos 15 minutes or under are considered reels. In the definition of reels, they say it's video that's 90 seconds or under is considered a reel. And that's where we're going to spend our time today. So let's talk about why. This is my feed. Okay, my feed is great. It's not aesthetically beautiful. It's just my stuff. But why use reels? Reels are super discoverable on Instagram. Reels, more than anything else, gets you in front of an audience that is not your target audience. It does that in a couple of ways. By using hashtags, you can get in front of people who don't see you. And Instagram has under the discovery feature. If you go onto your Instagram account and hit this button right here, can you guys see that magnifying glass? If you click that, pops you into an area where it just puts up posts from people you don't follow who are popular. And there's a Reels section of it. And if your reel does well, it can appear in that reel section so people who don't follow you can see you. So reels are super discoverable. They perform better than any other content on Instagram. For some stats, people reshare reels 1 billion times a day through DMs or direct messages. So they can take a reel and send it to a friend of theirs and say, hey, did you catch this? I do that all the time. Someone's doing a really cool cooking demo. I'll take that. I'll hit the share button on my Instagram account, and I'll send it to someone in a direct message and say, oh my gosh, I want to try this recipe. So we do that 1 billion times a day through DM. So if you have content somebody loves, they can share it. The potential ad audience is 758.5 million users, and reels take up to 30% of the time people spend on Instagram, which is a lot. So reels are magical content, which I love. And you can see when something's a reel, it's got this little video thing here. I think this one's a reel too. I think that's it for mine. I will tell you guys this one. Do you see the multiple photos? I don't know if that little arrow is showing up. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Does that show up?
Yep.
Well, there's a multiple photos. Some of them have it, and those are actually carousel posts that we were just talking about.
Margarita says she goes down the real rabbit hole every day.
I know, right? It's crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm horrible at it. I could spend hours there. I have to stop myself. So yeah, I agree. Instagram's actually pushing reels. which is interesting. They're allotting more weight to reels when you talk about that famous algorithm that everybody is so concerned about. Reels perform very well within the algorithm. Instagram pushes them. I don't know if it's because they're trying to compete with TikTok or whatever, but they are definitely pushing reels. They're great for top of your sales funnel. Like I said, that relationship cycle, it's good for building awareness, especially if you do. Some of my favorite reels aren't like the people for a while were following the TikTok craze. They were dancing and singing and lip syncing on reels, and it was great, but not really business related. But a lot of my favorite content is short tips that have value to them, something where I learned something. I love seeing those reels. So reels are great for that. It actually speaks to your area of expertise when you does that and gets you in front of your audience as a business owner the way you want to be, which is not dancing or lip syncing, but actually giving some business advice. And again, they're good for awareness and growth because they're discoverable by people who don't follow you. So my tip at the bottom is to use reels for educational content that should be a comma, promo posts, and explanatory posts. They're great for quick, fun videos. They're better for engagement than other types of posts. So quick would be the key word there. And I actually, if you can see, I circled the magnifying glass and then the reels tip. When I went in the magnifying glass, some of you guys may know, that popped me into my discoverable thing where it has all kinds of content on there, but you can actually click the little video one and get just the reels that Instagram thinks you might want to see too. So again, if you have something that does well, it can pop up in somebody's feed that you don't even know, and they can be aware of you and say, oh, they're really cool, I need to follow them. So some of the types of reels you can do, and this is only limited by your imagination. Of course, you can lip sync and dance if you want. You can do something fun, something crazy. I love educational how-tos, answering FAQs, promoting your product or service is always good, as long as that's not the only thing you're doing. You can share a fact using a poll, which is fun. So you could put something in like, what do you think is the, oh my gosh, I would put something like, which do you think is the top performing post on Instagram, real stories or photos, and have people vote on that and then kind of do an explainer video afterwards. I mean, do tips and tricks, or you can just have fun by singing, dancing, and lip syncing. So those are some of the reels you can do, but there's a million different kinds of reels. You can do recipes, you can do, show people something. It's just limited by your imagination. So the more creative and brainstorming you can do, more creativity you can bring into and brainstorming, the better off you are in terms of getting content that, might resonate with your audience. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm actually going to have you guys do a reel on here. So I hope you all have your phones and you're ready to do this. So we're going to walk you through it pretty slowly. But the details on reels, they can be up to 90 seconds, but shorter is better. I mean, we have great performing reels at 5 seconds, at 10 seconds. I'd say try to keep to 30 seconds or under, unless you're trying to do some educational stuff. But I don't remember the stats on how quickly people drop off. But, once you hit like 30 to 60 seconds, nobody's watching your content. So unless it's something earth shaking, you want it to be shorter. Reels are actually video, or now they have the capacity to do photo that's turned into video. So if you guys have, any of you tried this, you can actually use a template and upload a bunch of different photos. You can put in live photos. If you have an iPhone, it takes a photo that moves, as you can get like a second or two of a photo that moves. So you can put that in there and turn it into a video. You can actually take a regular photo, add music to it, and turn it into a video, and that creates a reel. I did that with a Christmas greeting once. I think I just put something on, added music and some special effects, and turned that into a video or a quick reel. It was probably 3 seconds total. You do need to include a caption similar to a post and use your hashtag. So I will tell you over and over again, your caption is prime space. Never, ever, ever post anything without a caption. That is critical. So always think about your caption. It can be longer teaching. It can be shorter, just having fun, stuff like that. And real, okay, yeah, real addiction is real addiction. Okay, cute. Anyone who makes comment on a reel that's visible to everyone who follows you or who pops into your account. Reels can actually be shared to anyone's story or direct messaged. So that's great too, because if you put out a reel that's valuable, somebody can stick it in their stories and share your content to other people. And that's fantastic. Like that's kind of the holy grail. You can, once you have a reel, you can post, it can go on Reels. So if you look at your Instagram account, you actually have a Reels tab. It can go on there. You can actually take that reel and post it to your main feed. It kind of does that anyway. It's a little bit weird, but you can kind of post it twice, and you can put it in your stories too. So if you've got something that's super critical and you want to get all eyes on it, you can put it in 3 different places.
I'm just going
And
to
then,
press pause. I'm going to press pause real fast, Lisa.
yeah,
You're sharing lots of great information. I don't know actually where everybody is in listening to you and absorbing it. If
okay,
anybody needs Lisa to slow down a bit and explain certain basic
yeah.
terminologies, because we don't want to assume anything. So
Mhm.
if that's you and you're like, what's a this? What's a that? What's a main feed? What's a if you have any of those basic questions, this is a safe space. This is we try to create this so that we're addressing everybody's needs. So feel free to just open
Yeah,
your mic. We're a small team tonight, and you can just say, "Hey, Lisa, slow down. I didn't understand that term."
yeah, absolutely. I
Thank
know, like
you.
I know I go through this stuff fast.
Oliver has a hand raised.
Okay, yes, Oliver.
Yeah, so thank you for doing this, by the way. I just finished editing my first reel, and I have like a couple of I think 2 questions that kind of go about the growth of the channel. So the first thing is I did a couple of research on my competition, and most of their timestamps are around like 35 to 45 second reel. And I feel like if in your research, what's the most average time a reel should be? Like, should it cross 60 second, or should it be around that 35 to 45 second long? And the other question is, if I'm trying to grow my channel, do you recommend posting how often do you recommend posting reel in 1 week?
Okay,
Um,
sure.
yeah, those are the
Okay,
questions I
so
have
the
so far.
timing of reel, it depends on your audience. Best practices say shorter is better, but experiment. Try some 35, try some 10 second, try some 90 second, and see how they work, or 60 second. And because everybody's audience is different. Like we can give you best practices, but your audience might like those 60 second. They might like the 10 second. It just all depends on what's going to work. I know, a lot of people do 5, 10 seconds, and those are very, very very effective. I think if you look at in your Discover Reel tabs, you'll see that the ones that do well, it depends. I will sit there and watch a dog try different kinds of food for like 3 minutes. So I think it just depends on your content and what your audience likes. And you don't know that until you try it. In terms of the other part, oh, how many times you should post a week? If you can shoot for a reel a day, that's doing pretty good. That can be ambitious for some people. I would say if that's too ambitious for you, do like 2 or 3 times a week if possible. Um, but they do say like once a day is pretty good. I wouldn't post more than that because then you're cluttering up the feed unless you're a news organization. I don't like posting any kind of content more than once or twice a day because I think it's too much for most people. So um, I would say once a day if you can, but like 2 to 3 times a week if you can't do that. If it's just once a week, it's once a week. Do what works for you. So, but in terms of growth, I think once per day is usually pretty good. Does that help, Oliver? Does that help?
Yep,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Do you have a follow-up with that? Or are we good? Okay. Malvina, you look like you have your question.
Yes, my question's from a few slides back. I actually do have an IG account that has two different profiles because I have two different types of business and I've gotten so much guidance on, no, you should have one, no, you should separate it. One of my business is fitness related, the other is related to the literary arts. And so I've had a bit of analysis paralysis and don't post much because I'm like, should I have a separate one for my fitness business and a separate one, separate post for the writing? And I don't know.
Yeah, and there's two trains of thought on that. So first and foremost is what you have time for. And if you don't have time for both accounts, there's no point in having both accounts, right? So that's kind of a bigger answer. If you have two businesses that are dissimilar, though, it's better to have them separate. But if it's just you spearheading both of those businesses, you might be able to roll them in together. So if the main focus of both of the accounts is you, then you might be able to do it. But if the main focus is the writing and the fitness, then you've got to separate them. But again, if you don't have time, you don't have time. So then you need to figure out how to make it work under just one account. And, because it's better to have time for one account than to not post on both accounts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Thank you. I just have to figure out which one I want to commit to on IG. And what I had done before is I went through and I archived like all of my posts because like, oh, these are all fitness posts, so they shouldn't be on there. And then I was told, don't do that. So I think I'm just gonna, you're right, pick one, commit to it because right now I'm not really posting at all.
So one of the things you can do, which I think is a little bit of a trick, is if you're only going to have one account and you have two different things, make the main feed the focus of the one account, like writing, but then in your stories, let people know that you have this fitness part of you and post some stuff like related to fitness in there. So it's going to a smaller audience, but it's not on your main feed, but it still incorporates what you do. So that might be a way around it too, until you get to the place where you can have both accounts and manage them. Kat says, can you schedule reels to post like static posts? Yes, depending on your scheduler. I've heard people have trouble doing it in the Meta scheduler. I actually don't use it. I tried that. I don't love it. I use a different scheduler. My scheduler is Social Pilot, but I pay for it because I have accounts that I do it with. They let me post reels. But if you're posting them and scheduling them, you don't have as many bells and whistles. I don't think you can add audio. You can't add your stickers. Like you can't add captions. So for my scheduler, I'm limited in what I can do. It's sometimes if I have a client video and it's just a straight up video and has everything in it already, I'll use the scheduler to post that. But if I'm going to try and make it really something that's going to do well, I will just go ahead and put it up myself at the time I'm doing it, because I like to put in like different photos and use templates and all kinds of stuff. So yes, but so if you don't have time and can use a scheduler, go ahead. Not every scheduler lets you schedule reels, but I think most of them do now. And like I said, I don't use the Meta one anymore. It's just, I've heard horror stories about people trying to schedule reels and they're not showing up and stuff like that. So it hasn't been super great according to the hearsay I'm getting. Ago's asking, how many accounts can I have? Yes, you can use different email addresses and phones to register your new account. I don't know how many you can have. I know that there had been a limit on how many you can access from one phone. But I actually have my clients set up their own Instagram, so I don't register multiple. You definitely can't have more than one. I think if you have multiple phones and email addresses, you're fine with it, but how much do you want to keep track of too? So a lot of social media managers will have their clients set it up and then access them that way. But again, we are supposedly limited in how many we can get into from one phone. Some people have two phones to do that. So again, I feel like every answer is that depends. It depends. It depends. So hopefully that helped. Cool. Okay, I'll try and slow down a little bit, you guys. I know I go fast. Sorry. Okay. So the basics of a Reels video. And what I'm going to do is give you guys some tips and tricks that I'm actually going to have you take out your phones and start shooting video that we're going to use for a Reel. So that'll be exciting. I'm going to like sit here and for a couple of minutes while you all do this. But let me give you some very basics because these are the questions I get asked a lot. So you want to keep your phone vertical when you shoot a reel. Oh gosh, I have this thing. You want to keep your phone vertical when you shoot the reel. Okay, that's how it shows up. Keep in mind when you're shooting a reel and it appears on your main feed that it kind of gets cut off into a square. So you really want to keep the main focus in the middle of the reel. And just that it is a weird thing and glitch, but that's it. So you can have the whole screen when you do the reel, but if it's going to show up in your main Instagram feed where people can see it, if they click on your profile and it shows up as they're scrolling, it's typically going to show up in that square. So the top and bottom might get cut off. So you don't want to put anything important up there. Like don't have your head at the very top of it. Have your head somewhere kind of in the middle. You do want to speak clearly and be somewhere where there's no background noise. Okay. You know, our phones are sensitive. They'll probably pick up stuff, but try and get to a quiet spot to do it. I like to set up in my house a place where I shoot my videos. I just moved this summer and I'm having so much trouble with this. It's ridiculous. Because I used to have like great light and a great spot for it and great walls, and now I don't. But you want to find that place in your house where you have really good lighting, and it's quiet and there's no distractions and your background's not crazy. Like you know, I have actually the virtual background here because my background's a mess right now. You don't want people to see like your crazy background and you know, make sure your papers are put away. Look, I used to shoot at my desk and I'd have to make sure all my financial documents and anything with my numbers were put away. So make sure stuff is clear in the background when you do it. Know what you're going to say. For me, this is key. I know so much stuff, right? Like we all have stuff in our head, but when I'm trying to give tips on something, I will try and do it without a script, and invariably I'll stumble and do it over and over again. What I found is that using this teleprompter app, and this is just one of them, this one's great. You can download it. It says to shoot your, when you shoot your video, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the teleprompter app. You're going to type what you want to say into it. So I actually will type it out on a Google Doc and then get into that and upload it from my phone to the teleprompter app. So I don't have to type in, because that takes forever. And then it'll say ready to shoot your video, and you'll shoot your video, but the words will scroll as you're shooting. So it's just like a teleprompter, and it's beautiful. And that for me has been a lifesaver, because like I said, I have tried a million different times to do a script, to memorize, and I will just stumble every single time. So having that teleprompter app helps me get my messaging correct, so that especially if I'm giving tips and tricks, I can make sure that it's clear and I'm not stumbling. And I know that people say, it's fine, reels are realistic, don't worry about it. But I like to, I like to look good when I'm doing this. So I don't want to stumble when I'm giving you guys tips. I want to actually look like I'm professional. So I use this teleprompter app. It's in my app store. I think there's other ones, but this one's super easy. You can actually make the font bigger or smaller. You can adjust quickly, it scrolls, etc. So, and if you guys want, I can give you info on that, but it's just teleprompter app. Good lighting is super helpful too. I like to use a ring light. You can have one that you stick on your phone, a little one, or you can have a nice big one with a stand. But good lighting is key, like especially if you want to look your best and you want people to see you, having that ring light is great. So I have a nice stand one that I love that I'll use for everything. I will sometimes shoot a reel like this. And actually, I think in one of my headshots, that's what I'm doing. For the most part, I will put my phone on a stand. My ring light actually has a stand with it. And then I'll just go press play or record, and then back away, and then do the record feature, and then hit stop when I need to. So, I mean, if you want to, and today we're just going to have you hold the camera in your hand. But if you're going to do it a lot, I would say definitely get used to using a stand. It's easier to keep your hands free, and then you can gesture with your hands if you want to, and do stuff like that. So big fan of that. You do want to be camera ready. I know today I told you guys we're going to do video and reels, and you may think, well, I'm not camera ready, but if you're going to shoot a reel, I will actually pick a day when I'm going to do it. I will make sure I've done my hair, done my makeup, and I'll have changes of clothes. So if I feel like I'm going to do a couple of different reels, I'll shoot one in one outfit, take that off, go put the other outfit on, et cetera, et cetera. So I pick one day when I'm camera ready, and that helps me get all of the reels out that I've scripted. But you want to look camera ready. Unless your thing is just looking natural and exercising, then that's cool too. But figure out how you want to look in front of the camera and look that way. So for me, I like to look a little bit more poised and professional. So I will take off my burn sweatshirt and just, put on makeup and do my hair and go look halfway decent. And then the other big thing is to be yourself. You're on video. And so it's important to come across to people like you're having fun, you're enjoying it, you're interacting with them, and you're being you. So just remember to be yourself. I know that it can get, it's stressful, right? Like trying to be in front of the camera, doing everything right. But just keep in mind that your authentic self needs to shine through when you do this. And so that's the main thing. So don't try and be someone you're not. Like for me to try and be serious and formal would be really weird, and people would think that wasn't me and it would be disingenuous. So I'm just trying to be me the entire time in front of camera. Whatever that you is, then do that. So what I want to do now that we've gone through a lot of this stuff is I want you guys to actually create a reel. And I think this is going to be fun. So we're going to take a little bit of time, probably like 5 or 10 minutes. And the way I want it to work is hopefully everybody's got a phone they can record a video on, right? What I want you to do is go into the video section of your phone, and you're going to turn off your sound on here. Everybody's going to be muted so you don't hear a billion different things. But I want you to pick something that you can talk about for 30 seconds or 15 seconds without stumbling too much. It doesn't have to work. You could talk about your animals, what you like to eat, give a bio about yourself, your hobbies, your kids, etc. But spend a minute or two thinking, what can I talk about in front of the camera for about 15 or 30 seconds? Then I want you to think about that, jot down some notes. If you have to read your notes to do this, don't worry about it. That's fine. This is just to get you guys trying to see what a reel is and how the whole process from start to finish works. So although we're going to maybe post these, we're going to delete them right away. They don't have to live on your Instagram forever, but I want you guys to experience actually doing a reel and posting it so that you have something you can practice on further down the road. So do that, put out your camera home in front of you, and then start filming the video. If you want to film it, delete it, that's cool. But I do, at the end of like 5 or 10 minutes, want you to have a video that you have completed that we can then go ahead and put on your Instagram account. So I'm gonna stop share for a second and ask if anyone has any questions about this assignment that I'm gonna have you do. Oh, okay, Margaret, can I recommend a poly ring light? Oh my gosh, I got mine from Amazon ages ago and I love it. Let me see if I can look it up while we're doing this. Okay, I will do that. But does anybody have any questions about doing this part of it? And are you guys ready to do this too?
So this is Margaret. So just to be clear, we're going to do this from within Instagram or just do it on our phone video and then post the video?
On your phone and video. What you're gonna do, yeah, you can actually do it in Instagram. I find it easier to create the video on my phone, upload it to Instagram, and then do the reel. And I'm going to go through all of those steps for you guys, but you need to start with the video. So even if you just want to recite something from a book or, sing a song or recite from a song, that's okay. Like I said, we're going to go on and delete it. I don't need to see you guys filming this, but I do want you, as we wait, I want you guys to talk for about 15 to 30 seconds about any topic and have that video in your phone. So you're going to go on your phone, camera, video, record. Don't spend too much time like worrying horribly so much about it. It's just a fun thing to do. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So are we going to go for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Lisa? Lisa, are you, she's
I think she froze.
Oh, all right. Well, I think the instructions are to just spend a minute, figure out what you want to do, go ahead and record the video. I'm sure she'll come back soon. And when you've done that, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, okay? And then we can, I'm sure Lisa will probably get going after that. I'll text her as well.
We'll get Lisa back on.
Okay, that was super fun. Hi, everybody. Not really sure what happened.
They're working steadily on their videos.
Oh, I wanted to give, if everybody's still here, I actually had a couple more tips I wanted to give you guys too about this. So let me get my slideshow back up. But thank you everybody for continuing to do that. That was weird. I tried to reshare the screen and it just everything went blank. So that's present. Okay. Present. Come on, you. Let's do this. Present. Present. Okay. So if you guys are working on your video, one of my tips I like to say is you want to give yourself a little bit of leeway in the front and back of the video. So you're going to turn your video on, smile and wait a second or two, and then start talking, because it is such a pain in the neck to try and edit a video where you're talking at the very first second. And a lot of us, like, I'll do this thing where I'll turn the video on and move it over here. So everything's like moving in my first few seconds. So if you position your camera, turn the video on, smile, and then start talking, you have a little bit of time to play with that. And again, don't worry if you mess up. And then in closing, say you're closing, like thanks or whatever, smile, hold still for a few seconds, then turn the video off. So that's what we have for this. And I'm gonna let you guys work on your video, and then hopefully everybody will, I'll be quiet, I'll let you guys do this. And then, let me know when you guys come back and you're done with it, and we'll go from there.
And I asked folks to put their thumbs up when they're done with the video so that you can know everyone's done.
Yeah, make sure that everybody's good. I'm just gonna mute and stop. Okay, guys, we've had probably 15 minutes with my inadvertent jumping off. So hopefully if you guys can come back or you let me know you're back, we're going to actually work on posting the videos. And even if you just have one that's awful, it's okay because you're going to delete it as soon as you post it. So if everybody could let me know they're back, I would appreciate it. Just drop a yes in the comments or a thumbs up, which does disappear. I know I got Margaret, Marguerite, and so who else did the video? Margaret and Marguerite. Let me cross got those done. So, okay, Janice, Margaret. Yeah. So, okay, you guys. So let's go through actually doing your video and putting it onto Reels. Okay. And I want you guys to let me know how you're doing with this. If something's not working the way it should, that I listed it on here, you need to let me know that. Okay. Because it can be a little bit confusing how to post Reels. And that's really why I wanted to do this with you all. I thought it would be great to just talk about Reels and tell you how to do it and how it works. But I think actually posting it is going to be beneficial for you to see, to really get in there and see how it works. So now that you have your video, and I tried to do screenshots on this, okay, and I'm not sure if you can see my little arrow or not. I can see it, but I don't know if you guys can. So you're going to go into your Instagram and you're going to go onto the screen. On the bottom right has your little picture on it, okay? And when you do that, you're going to see at the top right a plus sign. You're going to click on that plus. And this is going to pop up. It's going to look similar to this. It might not have everything in the exact same order, but that's what it looks like. So if you guys go onto your Instagram account, you have a home screen that doesn't give you these options. And then you've got on the bottom, the very bottom right, it's a screen with your picture on it or a little icon with your picture on it. And that's the one you want to click on. And that gives you options of where you can hit that plus. If you guys see the plus, you hit the plus and this will pop up. So does everybody see that so far? Give me a couple of thumbs ups. We're good, we got it. Okay, cool. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick reel and that's it, okay? And you should pick the video on your camera roll. It should pop up with all the pictures and video you've taken like in the last whatever. You can scroll through back and back and back. So you're going to pick the video. You're going to click on that video that you just did. It should have a round dot. And that round dot is going to say 1 on it. And that's your video. And once you have that, you're going to click next. Now, does everybody have that? You guys don't? Tell me what. We'll troubleshoot. And make sure y'all have that. So you're gonna click next, and what it's gonna do is play your video on a loop, like keep going on the loop, 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 loop. I gotta get one that's like a video on mine. So, okay, we'll do this next. Okay.
Lisa, the chat said,
I have to give, yes, so you might have to give IG permission to go into your camera roll. I think you should just be able to click that or go into your settings to do that. So if you haven't done that yet, you're going to need to do that. I think, Margaret, what you can just do is go into your settings and then click yes. Or you might be able to do it right there. I haven't done it in so long, I actually don't remember. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. So you're going to click that video and click next. And then you're going to get an options on your reels. Okay, so you have that video and it's going to be sitting in front of you and you hit next. And you might see something looks like audio and speed. Okay, if you have the video. I have unwisely not done any videos that I can do this with, so I can go along with you. There we go. Okay, so next. Okay. Okay. So it's going to do something that says audio and speed. You guys are not going to worry about that right now. You're not going to adjust your speed. That would be like if you wanted to do something that was slower, you could do that. And if you wanted to add an audio, this is one spot that you can do it in. So if you aren't talking, you want to just add music, that's where you would do it. We're just going to skip this part because there's another section where you can add audio. Okay.
Lisa, Margaret said mine automatically started playing.
It's going to start playing, but you still should have those options. It's going to play over and over and over again. So that's the thing about Reels. While you work on it, you're listening to yourself talk over and over and over and over and over. I end up muting it because it makes me insane to do that. But the longer you take to work on the reel, the more it's just going to keep going over and over endlessly. Okay. So yes, it will do that. And on the bottom, this is kind of where you edit your video thing. I'm not going to do that so much because it's a big pain in the neck, but you can see it scrolls through the video when you do that.
Lisa, she wants to know, are you using an iPhone?
I am, yes.
And any difference with Samsung?
Don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yes, there's a difference. Okay. It doesn't give that audio option. Yeah, add audio to your reel. It doesn't go there next.
Well, we'll get to the audio option is okay. It's in another spot too. So, okay.
Elvina, are you talking about Samsung?
Yeah, it just looks different altogether. That's all.
Okay.
So it just gives you like a bunch of options to choose from under where you can write your caption.
Okay. Does it look at, it's not here on top, it's somewhere different?
Yeah, maybe a next step possibly, unless somebody else with the Samsung knows something I don't know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so in the list beneath the write a caption or add a poll, one of the options is rename audio. So I think maybe that would be it.
Okay. So do you have the little music icon that this has? So we're going to go through these, and I'm sorry, guys, I've never done this on a Samsung. That's kind of the one challenge of this. You should have in your reel, these options should be fairly consistent and somewhere on your reel. So although they may not be like, it's weird for me, it's got these two here, the audio and speed, but I have audio elsewhere. So you can see I have audio in 2 spaces. So it should show up somewhere. And with the audio, I'm going to talk about that in a second, but that allows you to add music. But let's go through like the other options, and hopefully these are popping up for you, Melvina, that you can see these somewhere. If they're not, just hit next, and they should, and you can always go back too. There's an always next and go back, next and go back. So there should be things that you can do. Okay, so I know on mine, this AA allows you to type anything you want onto your video. So like in this, I just typed, tell me you're a solo dog without telling me you're a solo dog for Loki. You can actually, this gives you options here to change the color. You can change the font, and you can put background behind it. So it looks like it's white letters with black or pink with black or whatever. So that's a thing you can play around with, like how your letters look. And if you get off of that and click done, all you have to do is click back on the video, on the wording to get back into it and edit it. Okay. So this lets you play with this. Once you click off of it, you can move it around, you can condense it, etc. But while you're in that editing, you can change color, fonts, you know, anything it does. So that's what that lowercase and uppercase a lets you do. So if you guys wanted to put something to describe your reel, you can do that. Now, remember, you have a caption also. So if you're talking, you might not want to do, you know, put wording on your video. Sometimes I'll do it if I'm just using pictures. So it all depends on what kind of video you want. Like if you want to do, if you're talking, you might want to put on top something about explaining this or a little bit about it, great, but don't forget you have your caption too. So you don't need to do this. This for me is when I'm doing something cute and just want to pop it in there. And the next one are the sticker icon, which is the next one, which looks like a little sticker. In Reels, you can add captions, emojis, or GIFs, or a quiz, or a poll, or something like that. If you're talking, I like adding captions. And as you guys can see, this is what the captions look like. So what'll happen is Instagram will take what you're talking about and it will create captions from it. If you click on that, if it's gotten something wrong, you can click on it and edit it. Once you're done with it and click off of it, you can make it smaller, move it over, change the font, etc. You know, change the color, etc. So first, make sure everything's right. Make sure you save it when you make changes to it. If you don't save it, all of it's gone and you have to start all over. I spent like an hour doing captions one day because I couldn't get the saving right. But if you're speaking, it's a good idea to put closed captioning on it, even though you got something in your actual caption that you write, or you go through that coming soon. This helps your audience if they're hard of hearing, if they're having hearing issues, if they don't want to put the sound up on the reel, this helps them see what you're talking about. So I love using captions when I'm talking. And again, you can make that smaller. It doesn't need to be as big as it is. It doesn't need to be all over you, but captions are great. Emojis are cute if you're trying to do something fun. So there's a few different options, and that's in your sticker one. And then you've got your music icon, which allows you to add songs. And then your stars are for various filters. I don't do a lot with filters. You guys may if you want to. I would say if you start using filters, make sure you're consistent and always use the same filters. But don't get too crazy with them or fancy. And let's talk.
Lisa, sorry to interrupt. With the music, when you click on the music icon, what comes up? How do you find music? Is it sort of stock music or your own music?
Yeah. So the thing with music is, okay. I'm sorry. We added, what do you click on for captions? Janice, in the sticker icon, if you click on that, one of the things that pops up is captions. It's got, it's like a bar and it says captions. And if you click that, it will add captions to your video. So for audio, you guys, this is a real pain in the butt. So for business accounts, you don't have a lot of trending audio and popular songs. The reason for that is because copyright issues don't allow you to use those for selling things. Now, even though you may not be selling something in that video, I guess Instagram figures you're still a business account, you're selling stuff. So they don't allow you to use a lot of the fun, popular songs. Some people get around that by doing a creator account, but then you lose bells and whistles by doing the creator account. So you have to decide if it's more important for you to use a trending audio or a popular song or something fun, or use these original Instagram songs that are weird, because they're weird, let's face it. Like, it's hard to find something that's relevant and good. If you're speaking, you don't need a song. Sometimes I put music underneath speaking, but then that's a whole other level of playing with controls and seeing which one's higher or lower. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're going to do something fun, like I have a realtor client, and we'll post, a new house, and it goes through a bunch of, we have video with it. So I'll add music to that just because I want the audience to have something to listen to instead of just watching this thing scroll by. But it's not current music, so I can't do like a cute home something or other. I just have to search for stuff that I think isn't too awful. So that's if you're a business account. Like I said, creator accounts let you have more music options, but then you lose, I think, some of your reporting capabilities and a couple of other things. So I don't usually move people off of a business account, but it is a pain in the butt. I was actually thinking today, I was like, I wonder if they're ever going to change that. That would be really nice. But for now, it's the copyright issue. So that's audio. And then again, we talked about the filters. Okay. So those are the things you can do with a reel. You don't have to do any of this. Like, you can just talk to the camera, put it up there and put a caption, and you're done. Like, you don't have to do this. I do like using captions. Sometimes I'll use wording on it depending on what you're doing, but you don't need to do a lot of bells and whistles. Make it as simple as possible until you get used to playing with it. Now, you can also in this edit your video. And if you look at this, it's got the yellow bar. This is kind of a little bit unwieldy in Instagram. I'm going to talk about other editing programs later on. I think Instagram is a pain in the neck. If you have a lot of extra content on your front and back, you can actually scroll through, stop the video where you want, move the yellow bar into it, and it cuts the video. The problem is, like, switching between those two is really, really tricky. It still takes me a bit of time to do it. For now, if you can avoid editing your videos, great. It's kind of a pain in the neck. I wish there was an easy way to do it. But like I said, Instagram is a little bit unwieldy with this. So often for me, because I've done it a lot, I will have a few seconds before the beginning of my video, before I start talking, a few seconds at the end, and I will edit those out. And I'll always try and end on a smile, take a breath, and then start talking. That's something you guys are going to have to work on. I can't give you any tips, except it's just a pain. It's super unwieldy. Like, toggling is a pain in the neck. It's hard to get the yellow, actually cut the video to where you're looking at the video and where it starts. So it's a little bit weird. I know that's not a great explanation for you all. Try to avoid editing at videos until you're yes, you Margaret, you can change location of the captions. What you can do is, I think once you're done with the caption, if you click out of it, it's then movable with your, I think it's your finger. You can move it with your finger and you can even pinch it to make it smaller if you want. Let me see. I'm going to try and do captions. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Okay. Let me try and find a video and tell you. But yeah, you can do that. So that works. So you have to stop being in the caption when you edit it and start being, and get out of it, and then you're able to move it. Let me see if I can give you any tips on this. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. I know, sweetheart. My dog's whining at me. So hopefully that's helped you guys. I'm trying to find this so I can do it. Okay.
I found it. It was a pain, but I got it.
Yeah, so you can move that and make it smaller, make it different colors, stuff like that. I know a lot of the stuff is a pain. It's hard for me to tell you without me sitting in front of you with the phone. So I'm just trying to do this with like everything like screenshot. I mean, it can be a little bit challenging, but okay, cool. So yeah, you can do that, move it around. Even if it's small, that's okay. And then we talked about editing. So that's
Hey,
that.
Lisa, can you go back a little bit on editing? This is Margaret. I didn't quite understand what you were saying. Are you saying that it's kind of difficult to edit once you put it on Instagram and we should edit it from our phone, or?
So with your videos, if you have extra material on the front and back, okay, like I will turn my video on, take a breath, smile, wait a minute, and then start talking. I don't want all of that there, right? I can either edit it on my phone before I upload it to Instagram. I can use an editing program, or I can edit it in Instagram in Reels. There's 3 ways to do it. I think you're going to need to figure out which is easiest for you. If you're used to editing videos on your phone where you're, taking clips of them, do that and then upload that to Instagram.
Got
I
you.
actually do it in Instagram most of the time, but it's just unwieldy.
I got you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know editing videos, it's not fun, but okay. Editing, easy to find caption, difficult to move. I think once you get used to it, it gets a little bit easier with everything. So yes. Okay. Then you hit next, you're ready to do your video, you've got a preview, and you need a cover photo. And a lot of times, unfortunately, Instagram will pick like that screenshot where you look awful, right? It's just horrible. What you can actually do is click on this little edit cover thing, and it lets you pull a clip or a frame from your video. So choose one that's flattering, because the cover is the one that appears when people see your video in the feed, and you don't want it to be you with your eyes closed making a weird face, right? So you want it to be something that's a little bit friendlier and more fun, where you're smiling. So it actually lets you go frame through frame, pick the frame you want, or you can add a picture from your camera roll. So some things we have been playing with this is creating a graphic to be your real cover. If you're concerned about the aesthetics of your Instagram feed, like your grid, some people actually put a cover that looks aesthetically pleasing to the grid. They'll create a graphic or a stock photo of themselves or something like that. If it's in your camera roll, you can add that as your cover. And again, when you're looking at your Instagram feed, and the main grid where it shows all of your posts, that's what appears there. So make sure you choose one that's flattering, because you don't want the one with your eyes closed. You want the one where you kind of look cute. Okay. And you do that. Oh, sorry. You do that. And then you also write your caption. Okay. Yeah, right here. You're going to write your caption, add your hashtags. I didn't, when I did the screenshot, I didn't choose a flattering picture. So you're going to put your caption here, add your hashtags, and then you're ready to share it. And it goes on your main feed. And that is how you do your Instagram reel.
So in terms of timing, right? I know you talked about how often to space them, but as far as how long this process should take, how long should people budget for? And I realize once you get into a rhythm and a cadence, it'll obviously get easier. And yet, even for someone like you still have to shoot it. You still have to, music. You still have to do all these things. Once you get really good at it, approximately how much time should people budget for?
I can make reels with templates in about 15 minutes. So
that's you, and you already know what you're doing. So for something starting out, how long should that now?
I would say aside from shooting the video, which can be its own animal in itself, right? Like that's its own thing. So if you have the videos on your phone, I would say like your first one's going to take you half an hour to an hour-ish, but then they will gradually get better as you get used to each piece. Like as you get better at editing your videos, at creating your captions, at, doing all the pieces you want. And as you know what it is, you should be able to do it. Some people can do it in 5 minutes. Like if it's an easy one and just a video, I can pop that up pretty quickly. For ones that are more intensive, where like if you're putting a bunch of pictures in, if you're doing a lot of editing with the video, stuff like that, it's going to take a little bit longer. But for me, like half an hour would be a long time to do it.
So might you recommend doing some batch videos? So for example, somebody has some content, right? And they just sit down on a Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Just go, right? Just chunk it all out, have it up in their phone, and then they can, when they need to, they can start to do all that.
And if you have time, you can actually do a reel and save it as a draft. And so let's say if you do these videos, you have a Sunday and you're like, I'm going to do my reels, you can save them as a draft and then post them when you want. Sometimes the drafts go away though. It's a little weird. So I wouldn't recommend doing a lot of that. I might do like one or two. There's like, I don't know, something, if Instagram goes down, if your phone does something, like I've heard people losing drafts. So just be careful not to do too many of them. But there is one section where if you're going to click out of a video, you can save it as a draft and it'll appear on your Instagram.
But at least they can do just regular videos on their phone and just save them. And just
absolutely. Yeah. And I do like batching is really good. When I was doing a lot of reels, I would literally do like 3 or 4 at a time. I would have my scripts, I would have my change of clothes, I'd have my lighting, and everything was done and I just kept doing it and I'm ready to go. So yeah. So then you've got your finished one. Now, if you guys want to post your reel and then take it down, what you're going to do is post it. And this is really a bad picture too. I'm sorry, what is wrong with me? But in this one, I actually used captions. I used a closed captioning here for what I was saying. And then I actually used a really quick caption. I didn't go to explaining everything I was talking about in the video, but I did say the latest on TikTok and a possible ban in the US. So I wanted it to grab people, and then I'm like, they're going to need to watch the video instead of giving it to them in the caption. And there's 2 ways you can look at that. You can put everything you say in your written caption here, right? So that people can see it and not have to watch your video or your reel. I like to put a very brief description here. And then I like to put the post caption here so they actually have to sit and look at my caption and look at what I'm saying. So there's 2 different ways you can do it. It depends on
what about the closed captioning part? Because most people do that these days where you're actually watching, right, the ticker tape.
Yeah. And that's why, so if you can see here, I put the latest on TikTok and a possible ban in the US. And then all of my explaining was closed captioned. So I did not rewrite all that stuff in the closed caption I was saying. I let it stay in the closed captioning. So people actually had to look at my video to see what I was saying about the TikTok ban. So I kind of did it.
I'm sorry if I missed it, but did you talk about where they can find the closed captioning?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was in stickers. So if you go into your stickers, when you're doing your video, it's coming back. Here, stickers right here, that little sticker thing. If you click on that, one of the options is captions, and that does your closed captioning. Instagram populates it. You can actually go in and edit it. If they get any words wrong, take out your ums, because I always have those, and then go ahead and that's it. And then you can move it and make it different colors and stuff too. So yeah, so that's your finished product. You guys can post it, have it up there. If you hate it, you can get out of the reel. In Instagram, go to your main feed or your grid, click on that video and do I think the 3 dots on the top, the little hamburger and more, and it'll say delete video and you can delete that. So if you guys don't know how to delete a video, it's super easy. It's, let me see. I need to not be in Reels. Okay, so click on the video you want, and then there's 3 little dots in the right-hand corner, and at the bottom is delete. You can just delete it. So it doesn't need to stay up there. I have posted and deleted video Instagram Reels like, over and over again or something. Even clients don't want or whatever. So that's what your Instagram Reel should look like. Was anybody able to successfully do that? Hopefully some of you guys are able to make that happen. Marguerite, advanced settings. Which ones do you mean? Like there's a whole lot of other stuff you can do, but
Yeah, I it's okay. I just had a few it talked about well, I posted it now, but it talked about hiding likes, but there was one about the template, whether you
yeah.
want to share your template, and then there was one on I can't remember now because now I
Okay.
I'm
Well, yeah, we can talk about templates. Like, if you see people are doing really cool things with pictures and videos. So if you have done something, you have, it's not for, let's say, a video explaining stuff. That's not what you want to use it for. But if you're at an event or traveling somewhere and you have a mix of like really cute pictures and video, when you go into Reels, one of the options at the very beginning is template. And you can go through and it suggests templates. And sometimes I'll look for ones that are pictures and it has, you'll upload your pictures and it'll have them different times of that. And it'll upload pictures and videos and have them different times. If you've got live photos on your iPhone, it will actually take that live photo and make it kind of a little bit of a video. I have one on my phone, on my reel. It was from a Christmas party, and the last picture was actually a live video. So I was holding something, a sign, someone took a picture, and then I dropped it and smiled, and you can actually see that. So although I didn't shoot a video, it was a live photo, and it showed that motion. So that was kind of cool. So I put that in there. But templates are neat. You just, Instagram lets you go in and it just on the bottom, it's like, it has the different, how many little pictures you need to upload on there, and you just stick them in there and it creates that template from it. And then you can post it. The challenge is if you have a business account and it has audio, sometimes the audio doesn't translate. So you have to change audio to something that you actually can use. And that's because of copyright issues. I actually tried to do that for a client today, picked a really cute template. She has a business account and it wouldn't let me keep the audio. So I had to go in and change the audio, which isn't hard to do. But I would say if you are a little bit more advanced, play with the templates because they're a lot of fun. You can do some really cool things. And I love the mixing of video and audio. They've got some that are like split screen. So the more you get into it, play with the templates. You can use a set of pictures, get rid of those, use a second set of pictures, do a different template. And they have a lot of really good possibilities with it. I will say if you guys look at my AwesomeCon on my Instagram account, my AwesomeCon one, I think that was a template that I used. It was because it has a, oh no, nothing. Oh yes, correct. Okay. Yeah, never mind. That's not working at all. I tried. But anyway, it's got music and the pictures coming in. So I use that as a template. So you can have fun with that if you want. Okay, so some tips on getting the most out of the reel when you actually post it. You do want to grab your audience in the first few seconds, right? So that's a big thing. Make sure you do that. Make sure it grabs them, hey, here's the top tips for this, or did you know that, or something like that. Use hashtags in your caption. Have a good cover. We talked about that, so you don't look like your eyes are closed. And then you can share it to your story to have it appear in more than one place on your Instagram account. The thing is that stories are shown to your audience that already likes you. So if you put the reel in your story, people see it like both on your main feed and in your story, and that more engaged audience sees it more if they haven't seen it in the feed. The space in stories is less cluttered because not that many people post stories. So where someone may follow a lot of people and not see that reel on the main feed, if you just share it to your stories, they may end up seeing it there. And that's kind of why, if it's a good tip or something, you might want to post it to your stories. All you do is go onto that reel and hit the little Instagram share button and it'll share it to your story. So know that you lose something with it in terms of if it's too long, you'll lose it, or the sizing of it or whatever, but it's still worthwhile to put in there. So, and you lose your caption too. So if you've written a caption out on it, you don't see that either. So it has to kind of stand alone if you're going to do that.
Lisa, do you have a good resource for folks to learn how to create good, compelling captions?
We talk about AI a lot. I think if you're stuck, just type some stuff into ChatGPT and then use it on your own, and kind of tweak it a little bit and make it work for you. But I've been using ChatGPT where I don't cut and paste exactly, but if I'm stuck on something, I will describe like social media post or, Instagram reel for this and put in what I want and see what it comes out. So I think that's one way to do it. It's like speaking in your voice and getting creative. So you can do something more news-like, you know, like I did, hey, the latest on the TikTok ban in the US. That's it. That's all I did, right? That was it. You know, if I'm doing something that's more like, I will say, like, I'm struggling. I went to a ceremony at Fairfax County where they declared March 31st Transgender Visibility Day. And I have some friends who are transitioning, so I went to support them. And it was a really amazing day. And we have a picture, and I want to post the picture, but I'm actually kind of struggling with what I want to say about it because it was so, you know, it meant so much to me. So I've got to sit and spend time with that. So it's like with any social media post, you just need to find your voice and go from there. But I do like ChatGPT if you're struggling. I think that seems to work well. So that's a help. And then if you have a creator account and you want to use trending audio, because trending audio can actually make your Instagram reel way more discoverable. There's a couple of sources where you can look for trending audio.
And also, how do you recommend writing effective hashtags?
So you can do hashtag research, which is a pain in the butt. So you go into your search bar and put the hashtag you want and kind of look and see what hashtag is popular and then other hashtags that post is doing. I love the hashtag programs. Oh, thanks, Karen. It was a beautiful day. I cry like whenever I think about it. So really happy that Fairfax County did that. That's pretty cool. I like some of the hashtag programs. There's Hashtagify and Hashtag Slayer, and they're not expensive. They're probably like under $20 a month. And you can even use them for a little while to get used to your hashtags. But there's a whole science to developing a set of hashtags. In Instagram's saying they're limiting to 5 now. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, or I need to do a little more research. I heard that and I hadn't had a chance to dig into it. But you want to use hashtags that, like 1 or 2 that are relevant to the content you post. So I might like do hashtag TikTok, hashtag TikTok ban in US, but also relevant to me. So I might want to put hashtag social media manager, hashtag social media, you know, guru or something like that. So you want to mix them up. But I do like the hashtag programs, especially if you're not used to it. I think that those are super helpful in terms of figuring out what hashtags to use. Like I said, Hashtagify is a good one. And I think hashtag Slayer. But if you just look up hashtag programs, you'll see, you know, some of them are doing well. So, and I will say ChatGPT actually does recommend hashtags, but I'm not sure if they're the right hashtags. So there's that too. So if you use ChatGPT, it will tell you, but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure they're designed to get the most out of your search, if that's the case.
Well, I'd also imagine that depending on your branding,
yeah,
what audience you're targeting, the kinds of topics they're looking to listen to, right? So, for example, you know, something like what we're doing here at BoomerWorks. So we're, you know, 50 plus small business, something like that, you know?
Yeah. And I will say too, like at our, you know, how big we are, we don't want to use the massive hashtags because let's say use a hashtag that's got like 1 million views on it. It's too big. You're never going to get trending in that. You're never going to get discoverable. So it's actually nice to have smaller ones where they have like 500 uses or 1,000 uses. I could do a whole class on hashtags. We're not going to do that. But it's nice to have some that are smaller amount of usage because you can then bubble up into the search of that hashtag more easily than if it was, say, 1 million views. And then super easy to check out how your reels have performed. You go into your Instagram. I think there's the hamburger on the top. And if you click on it, the hamburgers are 3 little lines, right? That's what they call a hamburger. And you can't see it on here, but it's on your Instagram account. At the top right, you have a hamburger. It's the 3 little lines. And you click on that and scroll down and it says insights. And you can look, you can do it for your last 7 days, your last 30 days. It will show you how your reels have performed. And these are accounts reached. And as you can see, like the reels outperform everything. This Nava one did good because we had people tagged in it. But for the most part, your video and hashtags are going to outperform everything you do. So you can check on insights. You do content you shared to see how your reels perform. And then you can go under accounts engaged, play around with your insights. If you guys aren't used to insights, play around with them. Accounts engaged, and it shows you followers versus non-followers who have seen your posts and reels, and you can actually click on that to get more data on it too. So non-followers are great because those are people who aren't used to you. So that's showing you how discoverable your reel is. Like getting in front of people who don't already follow you is gold. That's fabulous because they might become followers, you know.
Margaret had a couple of chats. Can you type the names of the hashtag programs? And she also said she didn't see the insights.
Okay, so if you go on your Instagram account on your main page, Margaret, there should be 3 lines on the top right-hand corner of your Instagram homepage. You click on those and scroll down and it's got insights. You got to scroll through a whole page. It should be somewhere there. I have a professional account, I think so, or creator, I'm not sure which one. It may not be there, but unless you have a personal account, and you might not get insights.
So that was going to be my next question, because I was able to find the settings and activity. So this is strictly for the professional account then.
It should be on professional. You should be able to find your insights.
Yeah, I have personal.
Okay. You don't get insights on personal. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like personal. I love my insights. So yeah. Okay, I promised I would tell you guys some of these video editing tools. So I used to use InShot a lot. It made editing your video, shortening it so much easier. It was great, but the stickers were much more basic, and I don't think you could do captions in it. So you could use InShot to make your video shorter and take out those extra parts, and then move it into Instagram to add the other things. CapCut's really cool. They have some neat templates in there. It's a little bit more involved, so you're going to be playing with video a little bit more. Canva lets you do videos. You can create a video out of photos in Canva. It's not as fancy as doing the video on Instagram. It doesn't have the great templates. So it's more like a slideshow unless you're more advanced Canva. I'm pretty advanced Canva, and I still can't get a lot of really cool stuff out. But if you have a slideshow and just want to put pictures one after the other, you can do that. And then Adobe Rush, which I've never used at all, but is supposed to be good at editing. So there's them. And I think you're gonna share this slideshow, right? So people can.
So where it's gonna be, so if you go to boomerworks.org and then go to our training center tab, we have several sub tabs. One of them is called Marketing Your Business. So it'll be under there.
I saw this and thought this was super cute. Making a reel. It's, oh my God, I have such a good idea. Taking longer than expected. It's just not that good. All overthinking it. I posted it and then refresh to see if you're really into this. If you refresh, it shows you how many people you like. So sometimes you'll post a reel and go, oh my gosh, I know it's going to get hundreds and thousands of views, and you refresh, and you end up getting 4 likes. And I will say that the reels aren't getting quite like I used to get. I think I got 5,000 or something on some of my earlier reels. That was kind of cool when you hit refresh to see all those. It's definitely dropped off a lot, but still outperforming other types of content. But I thought that was cute about how all we're doing with reels. And I will tell you the funniest thing, some of the reels that perform best are ridiculously simple. And I spent once an hour doing this really great reel. I actually cut video, like I did several videos in the reel, and I cut the video in, and it was completely a template. So I took like all this time to do the video, and it performed just okay. And, and then my stupid dog whining at the camera had like thousands of views. And I'm like, really? That's why I need to have my dog whine on the camera. So you're going to have great ideas and think they're going to perform well. And they may not, but the thing is, like, it only has to reach one person, so that's it. So it is what it is, but just reach one person, get that one extra client. That's the thing. So.
Well, this has been fabulous, Lisa. Thank you for all
it's a lot of info. I hope you guys are okay with it. I know.
And just as I'm almost going to call this I'll call this a preview of coming attractions, because in a little bit, Lisa and our other social media expert, Carlin Ankrum, we're going to get together and think about actually offering you a real social media boot camp for a small fee, just because we do want to compensate them for their amazing time. So not just a 45 or hour and a half thing, but an actual sort of multi-part boot camp. So if you're interested in that, flag me somehow, because we really want to give you as many tips as we can. And we're going to think about a kind of a good successive way to do that. So stay tuned for our promos. And if you were not already on in our community, if you just came to us through Meetup, please go to boomerworks.org and hit join our community. Just fill out a quick little form. We will not spam you. We're just going to let you know about our monthly programs. And if we do the boot camp, of course, you'll get notified that way. So if you're interested in that, please make sure to subscribe to our mailing list. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you.
Hold on. I have the ring light I got was iBusy, I think, from Amazon. It was a 19-inch.
Can you type it, Lisa?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Light. with remote controller. And it was many years ago. So I don't know if they sell the same thing, but I thought it was good. It was a good one and it wasn't horrendously expensive. So it was like $140. It looked like they still have it. So, and that was, it had like 4.5 stars. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, thanks. Because a lot of them you buy, you get them, you're like, oh, this is crappy. Let me send this back.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
But that was a pretty good one from what I
Okay,
remember.
thank you.
Yeah. So thanks, you guys. I know that was a lot. I hope it was helpful trying to actually go through and post the reel. I did want to have that be a part of it. So I wanted to kind of get through that, the other part first so we could get to that. So hopefully it worked well for you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I will say that some of this seems confusing. The more you do it, the more well-versed you're going to get with it. So there's a lot there, but just start simple. And then as you get more involved with it, you can do more. Like my friend Jonathan teaches a class and I can't even do half the stuff he does. He's doing transitionings and this and that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like way too much for me. So I think sometimes simpler is better and you can still get the point across. And so that's what I want. Don't be afraid to just talk to the camera, give people tips. I love those. Those are my favorites. So
Lisa, could you put your email in the chat again for folks?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
And I think you had said that you're comfortable with a short follow-up call if folks want to reach out to you.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. If you guys want to talk to me about this 30-minute call, just email me and you can do that. And then on LinkedIn, Nichols. Actually, if you want to give me a second, I can pull up my link. Pull up my LinkedIn profile too. But yeah, if you guys want, I'm happy to do a 30-minute call and talk to you about anything social media. We can sit and look at your phone and do reels if you want, but okay, let me get my profile. I'll get that to you guys. So I should have had that ready to go. My computer is super slow. It didn't love, I don't know what happened earlier. That was scary. Okay. Okay, there's me. So yeah, if anybody wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, love to chat with you guys. And that's all.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you. Bless you and bless everyone. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
and join us for more BoomerWorks programs. We are here every month with another rousing presentation to help you on your small business journey. So come back and see us. Thanks again, Lisa. Blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.